Hey everyone, it's Jeannie from A1 Vacuum and Sewing, and I'm getting ready to finish up stitching my July tiles so I can finish my tiling scene. So I should have done it in order. This is what I recommend. From now on, stitch 1 and 2 together in the same hooping. If you're doing 2 at a time, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and then if it's really similar, you can color group as well. If it's not that similar, then you might have to stitch them 1 at a time. But let's go ahead and stitch this out. I need to stitch out 2 and 5. 2 and 5. That's what we're going to do right now. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hoop up. I actually just finished stitching all of August, and so I'm going to leave that very top panel on there, or the tile, or whatever you want to call it. And let's go ahead and we're going to hoop. Pull this down so it's taut. You don't want it where it's going to spring back where you're distorting, but where it's nice and taut. Let me go ahead and put these on. Oh, my baby boy is home. Okay, I'm just going to prepare you. The dogs are going to bark because they're super excited to see him, as well as I am excited too. I'm going to be barking. Kai, I'm so excited. I'm losing my voice. Anyhow. Okay, sorry about that. Hang on, I'm going to pause for this reunion. Okay, there we go. Kai is in the house. They are up the stairs. I'm going to go ahead and slide this onto my machine. I have a white pre-wound bobbin in there. There's still plenty. Oh, I'm going to have to shut my door, huh? Sorry. Hang on. Let me shut my door. All right. Dogs are upstairs now. Let's go ahead and get filming again. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to load in. Let's go. I just finished August. So just hit the home button. It'll clear your screen. Let's go embroidery. I can get rid of those two because I'm done with all of August. I'm going to design database transfer because I transferred it wirelessly. And if you want to delete, touch this button. You can touch the ones you want to delete. That'll make it easier for me to choose. And now I'm just going to deselect that because otherwise it's still going to want me to select to delete. Oh, that one too. Let's get rid of that one too. That was the life preserver one. I did one of these. We did the right side with the strawberries. I have to do this side. This is number 5. Go ahead and set it. Edit. Rotate. I'm using my 7x12 hoop. I've already gone to my settings button and selected that hoop size, so that will give me an outline of my work area. Don't go outside of that or it's going to ask you to switch to a larger hoop. So I'm going to go up. I'm going to say okay, and then let's add. So we're going to add. I'm going to go back to the pocket, back to this where I go for design database transfer. And now I'm going to go to, I want to do tile number 2, which should have fireworks. Hello, where are you? Let me look at the picture. Okay, it's actually this one right here, and I think I threw that one away. So I'm going to transfer it again. Hang tight. I will be right back. Okay, should be there now, but I have to go out because I just transferred it. I'm going to go back into the pocket, back to design database transfer. And it's this one right here. Perfect. Got it now. I'm going to go ahead and set it, edit, rotate button. I'm going to, whoops. Wait, did I have it right? There we go. Struggling a little bit. I'm going to leave a little bit of space between the two, and we're ready to stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and say okay, and embroidery. And now we're ready to go. The other thing I want to do is I want to go to this button right here. That's where you go forward and backward stitches and whole colors. And we're going to start off with the placement line. So how about, let me get you a good angle first, and then we'll get started. I have marmalade in there. I'm just going to leave it in there for right now. So I'm using my spray tent. Here's my batting. I'm going to go ahead and give this a little shot of spray, and then we're going to lay it down. I'm using my dime spray tent right here. There's my dime spray tent, and I'm going to be using my KK 100 spray. So let's go ahead and lay this down so the nubby side is up, because that's going to be the wrong side and that's going to go down. And now we're going to go back here. Let's bring this forward. Let's lay down our batting. Okay, there's a super dark thread there on top. Get rid of it. It will shadow through. Or actually, I don't think it's going to matter because I think this is dark fabric, isn't it? So, yes. So we are going to lay down this piece right here. I'm going to give this a shot of spray too. Let's center it to the batting, and I'm going to move it up a little bit further than I normally would because I don't want it to get caught on the one that we stitched down here. Perfect. Let's go ahead and come back over here, and that's the tack down for the batting. We don't need that. Placement stitch for the background. We don't need that. But I do want this stitch, and this is going to be the tack down for the background. And normally I say choose a high contrast color, but in this case, I want you to choose a color that blends. I'll just go with rock navy. And that way, when you go to stitch it all together, if you don't encase the tack down line, you're not going to see it. You're not going to have to rip it out. And here we go. So we're stitching this one out right here. I don't even know what color I used for my quilting. Let's take a look. Ooh. What is this? Okay, it is Oxford. And I used Oxford because at the time when we stitched the last ones, I didn't have Zafre. And I think maybe it might have called for Zafre. So I'm going to put Oxford in, and that's what I used on the other ones. But you're welcome to put whatever color you want in. It is calling for... Hang on. Let me look at my charty chart. Yeah, it's calling for Zafre. So if you are using the thread kit and you have all the colors, get your Zafre thread. You're going to put that in. Yes, if you can hear that, Momo is barking. He loves the sound of his voice. Okay, background quilting. So you need applique pieces. You're going to need this little window, this window here, and this piece of roof. We're also going to need the gold that I used. So here is my house piece, my little window piece, and there should be one more. One more Piece of window, where are you? I actually have 2 of those, which I don't know why I do. Quite honestly, if you can't find the other one, which I'm having trouble finding, I would just lay down a piece of fabric and we'll cut it the good old-fashioned way. I'm very good at losing pieces. Ooh. I'll just cut a little piece of this off. Oh, look at that. I guess I'm confused because right now this is the one that we're stitching at. So don't pay attention to me pulling out these pieces right now because that is not what we are doing. We are doing this one. And it wants to do a placement stitch in the upper right-hand corner. Let's turn the page before I confuse you any further. This is the one that we're doing right now. And we will do the other one, but not quite yet. And so we went ahead and we did all the way up to here. Stitch the quilting detail. Now we're going to go ahead and stitch the lower house placement line. It wants you to do that in linen. Good thing there's pictures on the screen. Linen. I have like 3 just started linens, so I'm hoping that I can finish one of these soon. I have a couple of, every once in a while I accidentally grab a color and start it, not realizing I already have that color. Okay, here we go. And that is going to be, I think it's this right here. So this is what we're looking for. Find it. Going to be this piece right here, and I'm also going to get my handy dandy mat. Let's go ahead and slide that forward. I'm going to slide this under. This is the snap hoop one, and I know this isn't a snap hoop. The reason I'm using this one is because it's thin. It's only about 1/4 of an inch. So it's not that you have to use it just with a snap hoop. Use it when you need something thin. And we are good. I'm going to go ahead and remove the mat from under here. Slide this back on. Fluff your fabric. Make sure nothing's curled under. And then the next step is stitch the lower house tack down. We don't need to do that because we did scan and cut. So we do need to do that. That's a placement line. It wants you to just do it in linen. And now it's doing the placement line for those 2 posts. So let's grab the 2 posts. You must have been so confused. So was I. Here are my 2 posts. They're in royal icing. We're doing the placement, then we're going to fuse, then we're going to skip the tack down stitch, and then we'll do the next placement. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove this. I'm going to take my Matty Mat, slide it under. This really helps me not have to pull this over to the a different area. It helps with my filming for me to just keep everything right here. Okay. Iron. I'm using the little Cricut iron, which I absolutely love. You need different irons. You know, it's not one size fits all. When I'm getting down and dirty, I like my Oliso, my full-size Oliso. I love my full-size Oliso. And then when I'm doing applique like this, the Cricut is the way to go. When I'm doing small stuff, I like the Clover. Okay, so we just did the porch post, and there's a tack down and trim. I just laid it down and fused. So guess what? We're going to skip this step. That's the tack down and trim. Now it's another placement line. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the placement line. So I'm doing step 6, 8, this is 10, stitch the door placement line. So we're going to put down that piece of door. It's red or scarlet. Here we go. Door. Mat. Lay it down. Fuse, and then skip the tack down and trim because there's no need when you're doing scan and cut pieces. All right. Okay, fast forward. Next one's a placement stitch. Still wants you to leave your linen in. This is going to be the foundation right here. Here it is. This is a 74-minute stitch out, so we've got a ways to go. We're 7 minutes in. Raise the 8 up. Put this down. I like to feel and make sure my mat's there, which it is. You're just kind of, I don't know. I want to say like coloring with fabric. Slide it on. Next step, we're going to skip because the next step is the tack down and trim. Okay, got a big old piece here on the bottom. This is the grass placement. Should have a big old piece of grass in there. Oops, sorry, it's hitting my filming arm. Filming on. I don't see my big ass piece of grass. Oh, here it is. There we go. Is it okay to say big ass? Here's my big ass piece of grass. Yes. And this is just fabric with secret sauce on it. And then and heat and bond light. I wanted to keep it nice and thin in the seam. I didn't want it to be too bulky, so I didn't put SF101 on the back of the grass. Ooh, it's looking good. Looking good. Okay, skip the next step because we don't need the tack down and trim. And now we're into the applique. All right. We did all the laying down, the placement and the laying down. I think the rest is just going to be stitching. So stitch the post satin outline. That's in, we're keeping that in no mat, right? No mat. We're keeping that in linen. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit start. Linen. And now we're going to go through all these steps. Here we go. Linen, I think that's ruby. Just go through and we're just going to be stitching. This one's going to take quite a while, but the next one's going to be much quicker. So ruby is next, and then sterling. Ruby, sterling, lead gray, lead gray. Let's go ahead and make sure we have those colors. While it's doing all of this, let's go ahead and press out. All right, I'm going to go right ahead and heat up my iron, and we're going to press these. And you want to press them from the back side. Before you trim them, go ahead and just give them a good press. Use moisture. And right now, I am on 2 wool mats. 1, 2. And the reason for that is because underneath, I'm on my cutting mat. If you just do 1, you're going to warp that cutting mat. So, and I was looking for one of my favorite rulers, my 6.5 by, oh, there it is. My 6.5 by 12.5. That's what I want to use to trim. I was going to say, I couldn't find it, but here it is. What are we on over here? Let's see. All right. We need to we're going to do the foundation satin outline. So let's go ahead and put, oh no, I'm sorry. We're going to do the door. Get your ruby thread. Look at your screen too. If you're not sure what you're stitching, you can always look at your screen. I said foundation, and then I looked at my screen and it was red and it was over here, so that told me I was going to stitch the wrong thing. Just a minute of stitching, and then we'll go from that. We're stitching right over here, and then we're going to do the foundation. Sterling is next. Okay, just pick a direction to iron in, but go in one direction. First, and you just want this to lay flat. Looks good. These are pretty thick. So when you go to stitch these together, use a 90-14 needle. You might even have to bump up to a 116 needle. These are really, really heavy. And if you want, I know some people are cutting a 1/2-inch seam allowance to make it easier for them to press the seams open. All right, what are we on now? Sterling. It's going to do the top and the left side. Top and left side. There is quite a bit of stitching in this one. But let's get it done, right? 4th of July is almost upon us. Do you like me bouncing you back and forth? Okay, and trimming, I can't remember what we were trimming these to. It was 5 inches by 6 3/4. 5 by 6 3/4. So you want to use your rotating mat. Yes, 5 and 6 3/4. Okay, you're going to look from all sides. Six and 3/4 and that looks pretty good to me. And you know, because you're not cutting right on that line, so you really do want to look at it from all angles and make sure you're equally distributed. All right, that one is trimmed and ready to go. Doesn't feel too bad. It's pretty thick right here. All right, let's go ahead and keep stitching, and then we'll keep trimming. Oop. Sorry. Next color. So we just did linen, ruby, sterling, and now we're on to lead gray. So let's go ahead and put our lead gray in. Where are you, lead gray? I know I brought you over. And lead gray is going to be for the doorstep fill and the flagpole fill. So it's going to stop. You're going to have to hit start again. So it's going to do the doorstep fill first and then the flagpole fill. 2 minutes for the doorstep fill. Then we'll come back for the flagpole fill. I'm going to keep trimming over here. Trim away. Okay, that looks as even as I'm gonna get it. You want a rotating mat. Rotating mat's gonna allow it so you have to lift up your ruler as little as possible. And it'll be more accurate. Oh, my hand moved. Let me see if we're okay. It's okay. My hand definitely moved for that one. All right. Looking good. Let's do this. This is going to be a job for the pounder. You can just tell, right? Hang on. Yep. Let's trim this one. All right, let's come back on over here. Where are we at? Oh, just go ahead and hit start again. And that's going to do the flagpole. You can keep watching the embroidery. I'm going to trim this one. Gotta press it first. here, we want to put in marmalade. Marmalade for the outer flame fill. I think that's going to go with the grill. We've got grilling. Summertime. We're 17 minutes in. Hang on, I'm trimming. I'm almost done with this cut. Concentrate. Right, here we go. All right. 4 down, 2 to go. Okay, next step, it wants you to put in military gold for the inner flame. Military gold for the inner flame. Where are you? Military gold. I don't know where my military gold is. Hang on a second. When in doubt, look on the floor. There it is. Okay. On the floor. If you joined me earlier, we had several moments where Poppy jumped onto my ottoman, which is where I sit and a bunch of my supplies are. And she sat on everything, kicked everything off. She doesn't care. Okay, inner flame. And then we're going to put black in. And black is going to stitch out the grill fills and the railing fills. Grill and railings. Okay, black. You're gonna put in your black. Ooh, ooh. Listen, if you got the music in you, you gotta let it out. Feel free to sing along, although I'd say everything I sing is fairly original. Here comes the grill. He's so cute, the grill. I feel like I have to find that little window piece right now. Lots of stitching. Let it go. If you're seeing a pinned out of white from your bobbin thread, just put in a matching bobbin. Toss in a matching black bobbin. I'm not seeing anything that looks amazing, but don't feel like you have to fight it. All right, we are gonna just hit start again because we're gonna do the black railing. While it's doing that, this is a good time for us to go ahead and trim the threads on this, okay? I'm trying to see where I should put this, where you're gonna see it best. Maybe we'll do it up here. So I usually like to use either my side hoppers or these are, I forget what these are called. These are the OSD Perfect Snips. I also have the Tulip Pink ones. And a good pair of precision tip tweezers. You can go ahead and hold up, I wonder if you can see that okay. Hold up whatever threads you want to trim and snip them. But you want to use these too. Now what's so nice about these is you can slot it in here when there's a jump thread. Cut it on one side. Once you release that, you're going to hold up that thread and then you're going to snip it on the other side. And it's just going to make everything look so much cleaner and better. Oh, struggling. My thumb. My thumb, my thumb. So this one, slip them under, snip them, and then fold it up. So you're going to want to go through and do all of these. So doesn't this little strawberry, doesn't he look so much better than that one? But that one's gonna look amazing too as soon as I go through and snip everything. Sorry. Let me see if I can get you a better angle. Momo, quiet, buddy. Sorry, I'll go shut my door. He's a dog that likes to hear the sound of his voice for sure. Maybe if I do it here, you can see it better. But you need the combination. You need the tweezers and you need the little snips. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to get these all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to see if I can find my side hoppers. I like using them both. I love them both. It's hard to see through the fuzzy felt, right? There we go. Okay, what are we on next? Let's go ahead and see. I'll give you a little view when we get back to when I find the side hoppers, and I'll demo those as well. All right, next thing we need to do is we need to put in willow, which is going to be the grass that's going to go all the way up here on the top. So I'm going to take out the black. And that's going to be 4 minutes of stitching for the grass. 4 minutes should be enough time for me to find my side hoppers. And actually, in this instance, because it's on the felt, I think actually the side hoppers might be better. The hook's catching the felt a little bit. Here we go. Let me see if I can find them. Oh, here they are. Okay, got my side hoppers. Let's watch those in action. Okay, here are my side hoppers. They have like little feet on them. And you just go ahead and take the little feet and stick it under the end on one side. Did I even catch him? I did. Oh, Mr. Mulligan is home after scaring me. I don't hear from him all day. And I'm like, he's an old man.
It makes you love me more.
No, it makes me angry.
I'm dead.
Nope.
And then when you see me, you remember how much you got.
No, it makes me angry that he didn't call me all day. That
As soon as I could.
all day I start to, I don't worry until like 2. And then after 2, I start worrying that whole time. What do you think? I think the side hoppers are easier right now. And then part of me can't, old woman mulligan can't even see anymore, so I can't tell what I'm cutting. I'm like, am I cutting more than I need to be cutting? Let's go ahead and take a peek and we'll see what else we can cut. But it's also good, you can get closest when you're using your tweezers and these, or the snips, the perfect snips with the hook on them. What else? That looks pretty good, doesn't it? All right, since this is such a long stitch out, we might as well just keep trimming. Trim away. Trim away. This was left over from before. Remember, I had to take the vinyl off of this? I don't know if I can get that out. Good enough, right? Little sewing machine in the window. Wow, this one looks great. I'm not seeing any threads. Maybe this? Flagpole? Looks good. All right, what's next? You guys got the picture? I actually think I trimmed everything I needed to trim on those, except for the new ones that we're stitching out right now. Grass fill is done. We want to stitch the grill detail. Let's go ahead and put in our linen thread. Linen thread's going to be the next 3 steps. I think I'm going to use it all up. What do you think? I have another linen with a busted bottom. I take the seconds. My mom always gave us, the kids, she always gave us the best. Or my dad, I'm talking about like at dinner, and my mom took whatever was like left over in the worst. That's how I like to think about you guys. You're my kids. I want you to have the best. Grill detail. And then we're going to stitch the fence fill. That's going to be a big old long stitch out, because we're going to stitch all of these. And then this, that's going to be a lot of stitching. Okay, you ready? Stitch the fence fill. 18 minutes. Kind of wish this was just applique, right? All right, just let it go. And then once this is done, we'll come back and we're going to do the buntings. We're at 30 minutes. 18 minutes will bring us to 48. I'm going to go say, I'm actually going to pause the video right now, and I'm going to let it stitch. That way I can go upstairs and say hi to my beloved Patrick. I'll be back. All right, guess what? It did finish up that spool of linen. So now we're going to go ahead. That was the fence fill. Now let's go ahead and do the bunting stripes. Bunting stripes is going to be another 4 minutes. instead of you sitting here and watching it all, I'm just going to go ahead and pause the video one more time. It's going to do the white, I guess, stripes. And then we're going to be putting in, I think that's ruby, right? Because that's what I've been using. Yes. We're going to do ruby, and then the last color is Admiral. We are almost done with this one. All right, let's go ahead and put our ruby thread back in. Maybe I'll stay and stitch with you. We're dealing with Poopy Poppy right now. Here we go. Three minutes of stitching. And then we're going to put Admiral in twice. And Admiral's going to finish up the stripes. And it's also going to be the little strings. So let me grab Admiral. All right, let's put in Admiral. Admiral, you majestic color. That's going to do the very center of these buntings. Is that what we call these? Yes, the bunting stripe. And then we're going to do the ties, and then this one is done. We'll just do the bottom one here, which is really the top right. All right, and just hit start one more time. It's going to do the little ties, and then we'll go ahead and stitch the bottom one. Ooh, that little grill looks so good. The fire looks super realistic. Crazy. And then the next one we're going to stitch is on page 12. We're going to stitch the top right one that I thought we were starting with because I was confused. And let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to do the placement stitch. I'm going to give my batting. Here we go, right here. Little shot of spray. All right, let's go ahead and lay this down. And I'm also going to lay down my background fabric. I should have one more piece. Am I sitting on it? All right, found my piece of fabric right here. Took me like 5 minutes. It was just underneath my spray tent. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna kind of bring this forward, lay this down, make sure it's covering the whole thing, and that should be good to go. Okay, we're gonna skip. So the next step right here is going to be the tack down for the batting. I'm skipping that. I'm skipping the placement and that little seam guide. And I'm going to go ahead and do this, which is going to be the tack down. I'm going to go ahead and let's put in Oxford. And if you're using Zaffre, then go ahead and put in Zaffre. I'm using Oxford in lieu of Zaffre because when we first did it, I didn't have Zaffre. So I had to work with what I had, and that was Oxford. Here we go. Thread her up. And we are 58 minutes into a 73-minute stitch out. So this one really shouldn't take that long. I mean, oh, actually, now it says 59 minutes. So we have 15 minutes. And of course, it's going to take a little longer than that because we have to lay down fabric and do all of that fun stuff. If you are, if you did scan and cut and you're gonna press everything down, go ahead and heat up your iron right now. Next step, go ahead and just hit start and it'll do the quilting stitch. And then we're gonna do all the applique. Okay, other colors we're gonna need. We're gonna need military gold. So all of this is gonna be in military gold. Linen, I think that is peppercorn and ruby. Let me just make sure. Yes. So after this, I want you to get your military gold ready to go. And I'm using this for the fireworks. This is Hollow Shimmer, color 6003. It's spectacular. Military cold. And we're going to put in half of the house. Heat up that iron. Placement line. You're going to need this piece right here. Make sure you put it heat and bond light side down or SF101 down. If you are doing the just regular tack down and trim, it's easy to get these mixed up. I'm going to slide this back. I'm going to pop the mat under. These are the hoop and press mats from Dime. And I think they're on sale on the website. I like these are the ones that are made for the snap hoop. They're the ones I preferred for this because they're thin. But if you want to get the other set is awesome too. The other set is, I'd call that one a little bit more luxurious. Those are just like regular mats. And they're made to go under your hoops. So you're going to buy the specific set for your brand of machine. Like they sell a set for brother and baby lock. And then they sell a set. Oh, we got to skip the next step because this is tack down and trim. We don't need that. We want that. We're doing the placement lines. Here's my little itty bitty window. I have two of them. I'm not sure which one I'm going to need. I don't know why I have two. And then I have none of this square window. Lost that. Okay, I'm doing this, and we are not putting any vinyl over this one because it's going to be in the seam, and that is going to make it super hard to sew together and press open if we put it in the seam. Does that make sense? So just go ahead and I would just press it down. There we go. Pull that mat out. Skip the next step. This is tack down and trim. We don't need that. Now we're going to do another placement stitch. Now with this one, I couldn't find my piece of fabric that was pre-prepped, so I just cut a piece. Hopefully I cut it big enough. If not, I have plenty of fabric. I am going to do the tack down and trim for this because he is not cut to size. So just do tack down and trim and get your snips, and you're going to snip the excess fabric. Nothing wrong with doing it hybrid. Now remember, I am going to put vinyl on that one. Now we're going to do the firework, which is going to be the majority of the rest of the stitching. It is going to be, says 5 minutes. I'm loving these Gypsy Quilter snips. I love my Kimberbell ones, but when you lose them, what are you going to do? You got to find something else. And for some reason, they were going to discontinue the Kimberbell snips, but they're bringing them back. So in the meantime, I'm confident telling you to go ahead and get the Gypsy Quilter ones. Just look up Gypsy Quilter snips. Here we go. Fireworks. Hopefully this will be big enough. Yep. Okay, just pre-cutting my vinyl. Making sure there's nothing icky here. And then we'll go ahead and put the linen in for the upper house satin outline, the peppercorn for the roof line right up here, and then we'll put ruby in to do the stitching around the windows, and that's when we'll lay down the vinyl. Ooh, looks like we're not threaded. Make sure you put your foot up when you go to do your... I'm going to go minus, 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 minus. Okay, now plus. There we go. So minus until it bounces back to where you just finished, and then plus a 1. Patrick. Oop, didn't catch. That's okay though, because you know what to do. We are in the screen where we can go backwards and forward stitches. So we're going to do that right now. I'm going to take this time to unkink my thread too. This is like what makes this thread challenging is it's actually, I think it's flat. I think it's like a ribbon thread. Here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit, and you can see your little cursor right here. See it, the green? So I'm going to go minus until I go back to the other side. Did all that stitching without any thread in it. Okay, so it bounced over here. Now I'm going to hit +1, goes to the very beginning of that ray that didn't stitch, and let's stitch it out. How many rays do we have left? I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 8. I'm going to go ahead and pause this, and I will resume when the fireworks are done. Okay, fireworks are done. Let's go ahead and take out our high maintenance, but ever so gorgeous Hala Shimmer. I do not stitch with it with this net on because the net is rough and it definitely catches the thread, but you should keep the net to store. So this thread won't make a big old mess. And let's go ahead and put your linen thread back in. We've got 4 more steps. Linen, peppercorn, ruby, and ruby. All right, now we're going to put in ruby. That's 2 minutes of stitching to do the satin stitch up on the roof. And then I've got to press this one out and stitch it together. Now I cut this little piece of vinyl out. I'm going to make sure there's no threads hanging down, and that's going to go right over this window. You know, some people don't realize that these pop off and that's where you put your thread so it doesn't make a big old mess. I just kind of hold it there, draw it in, and snap it down. I really don't buy thread unless it has that. There's other brands of thread that I like, but I don't love them because I want that little pop-on base. Because that makes a big difference, I think, when you can keep your threads really neat and tidy. When you are stitching, always pop it closed. Otherwise, your thread can get caught in there. Can wrap around. I mean, especially on my multi-needle, if I don't remember to snap it shut, the thread inevitably gets caught. Just happens that way. So open them up, wrap them in there. Okay, let's put in our ruby. So I undo it and I snap it shut and then I stitch. Ruby, we have 2 more steps. We have 3 more minutes and we are finito. Then it's time to put it all together. Might want to clip these threads just in case. And I'm going to just kind of hold him down. Where is my spatula? Here he is. And then we will go ahead and we will sew it all together. So I'm just going to do the stitching right now. I'm going to go ahead and I'll sew this one all together. I think I'm just going to film one. I'll go ahead and sew, because I haven't trimmed them yet. I'm going to trim and sew together August because the steps will all be the same. So I will do that, and if you need one to refer to, you'll have that one. I'm heating up my iron right now because I will press the last 2 tiles out and we'll trim them up together. And that's it. We are done stitching July. Looks great. Let's come on over here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take off my magnets. I like to turn it to the back side. Take my scissors. I'm going to cut right down the middle of each of the tiles. You need a little bit, like don't cut it right to the edge on any of them. You got to have at least 1/2 inch, if not an inch. Okay, and this one's coming off too, so I'm just going to cut him off. I'm going to save that to do all my August all together. I'm going to go ahead and use water for the back side. And let's press one direction. Use your body weight. Press it out really well. And I'll press it here too on the sides. Looks good. Okay, you want it to be flat. And those look flat. Let's go ahead and trim them. Get your rotating mat. And since this is 5 by, and you know, you can always use your tape. It's literally so awful when you have so much stuff you can't find anything. So I don't want to use this because this is super sticky. I can't find it. So I'm going to use some washi tape. And so you can always make a ruler any size you want it to be by marking off the area that you need. And then you can fussy cut. So you're going to sometimes find you need some weird measurements. Riley Blake. Okay, so what I need to go to is 6 3/4. So just mark it off. I love my Omni Glow because it glows. And then we're going to 5. And I don't need the whole thing, but just to kind of fussy cut. Okay? That's what we're cutting to. Got it? So now I can lay it down, and that might be a little bit easier to fussy cut to, right? All right, here we go. Okay, that piece is done. Looks great. Let's do this last one. The thicker they are, the more stretching, the more it will pull inward. think that looks good. And we are done. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to sew it all together. I'm going to go ahead and do that on my own, but I have August set and ready to go. So I will press these out, trim them, and then sew them all together, layer it, and put on the binding. So you'll have a video that shows the entire thing being done in case you're not sure how to do that. And now we're going to sew these together. So we will match them up. These two go together. Ooh, that's going to be really thick there. These two go together. That's going to be together. This one and this one. And here we go, like that. And so we'll go ahead and sew those all together. And that is July. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye.